Welcome to this sports chit chat, and it's a very quick session with India's number one tennis player Prajnesh. And as you all know, the Australian qualifiers for the first time in its history is going to be held in Doha, and Prajnesh is going to represent India as well as with Guru Ram. And Prajnesh, welcome to this show. First thing
Thank you.
first, this is going to be your you will be targeting your third consecutive Australian Open. So how are your preparations and how do you look about it?
Well, I prepared for it just like every other Grand Slam or beginning of the year. There's always an off season in December, and then we get ready for the start of the season in January. The only difference now is that the location of the Australian Open is in a different venue rather than, you know, Australia, but otherwise not much has changed. Yeah.
So you have been a pro for the last 10 years. How has been the journey for the last 10 years and what are the coming targets for your career?
It's been an interesting journey. It's been good. I've always wanted to be a tennis professional, and from when I was very young, I had a dream to play tennis at the highest level, and I'm glad that I'm able to pursue this dream. And it's come with a lot of ups and downs. I've had a lot of injuries in the past, and then a few years ago, about 5 years ago, I started to compete consistently, and I've gone up through the rankings over the years, and I'm quite happy with how I've done in the last few years. I have some goals. Obviously, I would like to be top 50 eventually, and then top 20. So I have goals that I'm chasing, and Grand Slam results that I would like to have. So those are all part and parcel of the journey, and I hope that I can achieve those goals in the within the rest of my career.
Prajnesh, what is it about like Indian players playing at the Grand Slams? The first round. We are quite used to it. This like first round exists at the most. Like our Indian players, they qualify till the second round. What actually lacks in an Indian player when they compete at the highest level?
Uh, at the end of the day, you're playing against the best players in the world, and you have to, you need to be in that environment continuously. And as Indians, we have a disadvantage when it comes to playing tennis in general because we don't have the same infrastructure, we don't have the same environment in India. And if you compare it to the Europeans, who are the superpowers in this sport, they are all, consistently competing against the best in the world from when they are very young. So they have a big head start. So it's not really anything that we lack as such in the sense that we come up short all of a sudden only in the Grand Slams. I think in general, Indians don't have in singles have not had huge results in any in general in the ATP level on a consistent basis. So for that to happen, I think we need to have better competition in India, better coaching, better pretty much everything has to improve for us to have a chance, like how it is in badminton or cricket. So if we have a system in place to produce players over a period of time, we will get the results in any level, including Grand Slams.
What's your take on this Australian Open qualifiers? I mean, in a country like which has been hosting in Qatar, which has been hosting several top sports competitions, in the last one decade or so. I mean, Australian Open in Qatar.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's a once in a lifetime kind of a thing where the Australian Open qualifying happens at a different venue. So it's interesting, and yeah, I mean these are special times, special circumstances for everybody with COVID around, and well, I'm, I think as all the competitors here are glad that the tournament is happening and that we have a chance to compete and qualify and possibly go to Australia for the main draw. So that's the most important thing, that we continue to be able to play tournaments and so yeah, it's different, but it's also at the end of the day, it's another Grand Slam, it's a tournament, and we have to do our part.
Indian tennis, during that era of Lander Pace and Mahesh Bhupati, Indian tennis was big. Uh, when do we see or when do we find a player like Leandro Paes or Mahesh Bhupathi giving Indian tennis a kind of an international recognition?
Well, I mean, it's different. We've always had successful doubles players, and they've been really, really good in that. They've brought India to the forefront, and Leander has done well in singles as well. He has an Olympic medal in singles. It's not easy to have those kind of results, and especially coming from India, like I mentioned, with the hurdles that we face in terms of not having the system in place, it's quite difficult. So if the simple answer is when we have a system in place, we will have a lot of players. And until then, it's only going to be one player here, one player there who is able to make a breakthrough and kind of have some results. And it's been a while since we've had somebody do that well in singles. Somdev has been there, Yuki, and we've had some players who have reached about 60 in the world in the last, I don't know, 25 years. So if we want to have somebody who's going to compete at the Grand Slam level and go deep in the Grand Slams, get to the fourth round, the quarters, the second week of the slams, then we have a lot more work to do. I mean, it's possible that we have somebody who makes it against the odds, but if we want to do it consistently, then we're not yet there.
How fit you are, and before coming here, had you any special preparations?
I'm fine now. I have no issues, and I just did a preseason just like every other year. In December, we have a month of training before coming to begin the year, and I'm in pretty good shape, and I'm looking forward to the into 2021.
Like some of your colleagues who are trained in Spain or some European countries, do you have any base like or in USA? Do you also train outside India for a long period of time?
Yeah, I have a training base in Germany. I've been associated with that academy for almost 10 years now. So I train at Waske Tennis University in Offenbach in Germany. So Alexander Waske Tennis University. I've been there for quite a while now. So yeah.
How do you, I mean, how much we can say that your chances qualifying for this year's Australian Open, in the qualifiers, how you will rate on a scale of 10?
I mean, it's difficult to tell. There's nothing like that. At the end of the day, I can feel that it's a 10 out of 10. But tomorrow, when I go on court, it really just depends on how well I play, what I deliver, what the other guy does. There are so many things. It's difficult to say. I'm confident with my preparation, and I hope that I come out on top in the next in tomorrow to start with in the first round, and then see how the next two rounds go after that if I'm able to get through each of the rounds. But I wouldn't really be able to give you an answer on a scale of 1 to 10 as to how whether I can qualify or not.
Have you been to the court? Have you or
Yeah,
is,
I've already been there 3 days. I've been practicing every day.
so? What's your impression about the tennis court here and in Qatar?
The courts are quite nice. I like them, and they suit me. So I'm happy with the conditions. The weather is good. It's not too hot, so it's I guess if we were having a tournament here, the time of the year is quite good to have the event here in terms of the weather. So I think we're all happy with that.
Thank you so much, Prajnesh, for joining us, and we wish you all the best and success in the qualifiers in the Australian Open in Doha. Thanks from us.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.